Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we are going to be discussing more about the upcoming Rey Skywalker New Jedi Order movie. Of course, we're going to go ahead and break it all down for you guys, everything that we know, everything that we're hearing, and everything that we're anticipating right now. Before we do though, however, grab that subscribe button if you haven't already, as we're discussing and covering all types of Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel. So if you guys are into any of that, go ahead and grab that subscribe button today. Some new reveals and even teases at that, some bits of tidbits here for what we're anticipating and expecting to see with this upcoming New Jedi Order movie with Rey Skywalker. It was announced and confirmed last year, of course, at Star Wars Celebration 2023, having this movie release sometime in 2026. It's going to have a December of 2026 release date, and its production and filming is looking to actually ramp up and begin a little bit later this year. So in this video, we are going to be taking a quick read from one of my favorites, StarWarsNewsNet.com. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. They read that in a recent Screen Rant interview that had went under the radar for a few weeks ago, it seems at that, Daisy Ridley had discussed the possible inclusion of having John Boyega's Finn in this new Star Wars film, the New Jedi Order film, and having him reprise his role, return, of course, that she'll be starring in, but not just that, not just having him return just to have, well, Finn around, even though he was one of my favorites throughout the sequel trilogy, but also whether it could fulfill that promise of the character becoming a Jedi, something that a lot of fans had been wanting for quite some time, really honestly ever since the character was introduced back in 2014 with the Force Awakens trailer, having him swing around the lightsaber for a majority of the promoting and the marketing, and even for a majority of the movie, up until the end of the movie, of where all of a sudden Lucasfilm turns around and says, oh, never mind, Rey is now the main character, which is not a bad thing or really a complaint at that, but I think that's how we kind of all feel with that situation. So to be clear and cut, John Boyega has not been officially announced or confirmed as a part of the cast, but given Daisy Ridley's involvement with the film as Rey Skywalker and her return, the actress was asked if she'll be bringing a friend along for the ride, by which she had simply replied with, that's above my pay grade, but I would love to see that, but that is not a decision for me, ending that quote right there. Even amongst some of the different speculations and rumors out there that, Daisy Ridley wasn't going to be returning to this movie just as an actor, just as Rey, but also as an executive producer for this movie as well. Now, we can't necessarily confirm that quite yet, but if that were to be the case, then it means that she would have a lot more involvement, and that's something that would be on par essentially with her pay grade, and that she would be able to kind of dictate some of those decisions for this overall movie itself actually as well, which fingers crossed for that, because that's something that I think that a lot of fans would want to see with this movie. I think that would create a lot more stronger and better decisions even at that with what this film could offer. I would also honestly have to say that she would have the most effort at that, not effort necessarily, but most likeliness to be the one to convince John Boyega to make a comeback to a galaxy far, far away, even though the last, thing that John Boyega has said about A Galaxy Far, Far Away is that he said that if it's a great cast, if it's a great script, if it's a great director, then of course he would want to return to A Galaxy Far, Far Away. And honestly, if I can be honest with my own thoughts and opinions, of course, I would love to hear what you guys are all thinking in the comments down below. It's probably nothing nice about this movie. Anyway, it would really be that Daisy Ridley would be the most likely one out there to convince John Boyega to make a comeback to A Galaxy Far, Far Away. And I think that is something that would make everything really come full circle for this overall movie. Daisy Ridley was officially announced to be joining the movie at Star Wars Celebration around a year ago at this point, actually, in 2023, and a little else has been revealed about it since then, in part due to the 6 months stoppage forced by the Hollywood strikes amongst the writers and the actors. However, by this point, Lucasfilm and probably Daisy Ridley herself even must know whether John Boyega is making that comeback as Finn or not, given that the movie is nearly in its early pre-production and early development right around now. It was also just a couple of weeks ago that we were talking about and covering here on the channel as well, that they had put out an official casting alert, and we're looking for castings for 3 roles. 2 of those roles are for Jedi apprentices that would be training underneath as Padawans underneath Rey Skywalker, and for another one of those roles would actually be the main antagonist or the main villain for the movie as well. So to say that, John Boyega, it would already kind of like be confirmed that he would be returning for this movie. I think it's a bit premature maybe to say that, but then again, they are writing the script right now, and coming up with the final drafts for for the movie script here as well. So like they would have to make it more solidified and more concrete. So maybe they would know by now if, you know, John Boyega would be making his return in this movie. It's been long theorized that Finn would be a part of this new story, tentatively titled as New Jedi Order, but even John Boyega was not entirely against the idea of returning when he was last asked about it around a year ago. The actor was disillusioned by how the sequel trilogy, and in particular his character's arc, really turned out. At one point he was even promised an arc with which he would become a Jedi, throughout the course of the sequel trilogy, but after multiple iterations of the overall story of the sequels, that was dropped, and instead the Rise of Skywalker repeatedly had teased that he was force sensitive up until the end of the movie, by which it was kind of just downright implied and kind of confirmed, hence that speculation that he'd kind of maybe have that chance to really pay that off. And like after the events, I think that it would set up more story for after the events of the Rise of Skywalker, after the sequel trilogy, for Finn to go on and actually train as a Jedi for whatever would see him in next, whether that would be a Disney Plus show or, in this case it seems, this New Jedi Order movie. It feels like every other day new rumors are swirling around online about this film, by which we're keeping you guys updated with here on the channel. All the more reason to grab that subscribe button if you haven't already. But it's being written by Stephen Knight, who's also the writer of the Peaky Blinders show. He's also actually much rather soon going to shift his priorities over to the Peaky Blinders movie and start penning for that. That's also set to go up after the summer in the UK, sometime in the fall and the winter. But besides that, it does also look that Lucasfilm is looking at actors for some of the main roles. As I had mentioned, they're looking to cast the main villain of the movie and then 2 Jedi Padawans that would be underneath Rey Skywalker there as well. No, one that we're hearing so far is Angela Bassett, could be in contention for one of them, and much rather is that she would actually be playing the main villain of the movie, although we can't confirm that, of course. It's mere speculation, I think, even at that. While the company of Lucasfilm is also currently focusing most of its feature film resources on getting the Mandalorian and Grogu movie up and running by Jon Favreau, a movie that will shoot this summer in California for a May of 2026 release date, it's also possible that they might have some of those announcements by the time of D23 rolls around in August, like a first look and first snippet for not just the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, but also possibly potentially for this New Jedi Order movie. Just evidence that they are being worked on, I think, really at that, like first looks and first teases essentially, although it's something I want to discuss in more detail and in more depth in a separate feature video here on the channel. Guys, this all being said, let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys are all thinking. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been an official MCU. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.